Hey guys, well, it's fall. I love fall. I probably said that a lot, but I do love fall. I wanted to do another fall makeup look and I wanted to just talk. I just wanted to talk about life. Not an update on my life necessarily like I've done in the past, but I just wanted to talk about stuff. I told you in my last fall makeup video that I wanted to do a green eyeshadow look, so that's the agenda for today. And we're going to talk about skin prep because skin prep is important. When I first started my channel, I used to talk a lot about self-care and how important it was to take care of yourself and take time out for yourself, and you're important and all the things. I used to say that a lot, and I have not talked about it so much in a long time because I neglected it myself. I've not been taking care of myself like I should. I've not even been washing my face like I used to. Like I used to be so religious about washing my face. It was a everyday thing, at least once a day, but mostly twice. And things have just changed in life. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about life and how life changes and things change and all the things. So yeah, let's just get into it. So first of all, we're going to talk about prep. So I got this at Ulta not too long ago. It's the e.l.f. lip exfoliator, and this is the coconut flavor. So I'm just going to exfoliate my lips as we talk. I've actually already done this once, and then I thought, well, I'm going to talk about this. I love this. It's such a good lip exfoliator. I don't roll it out very much. I just roll it up just a little, and it is so good. And I have one from Mary Kay that I love, and I used to sell Mary Kay, if you didn't know that. I don't do that anymore, but this one's very good. And I like that I don't have to put it on my finger and then put it on my lips. I can just roll it up and put it on. So once you do that, just wipe it off. Some people lick it off. I don't really like to do that. And then I like to put some kind of lip balm or lip something on as I'm doing my makeup. I have this Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss, and it actually feels more like a lip oil than a gloss to me, and I really like it. So if you wanted to try something from there, this one is Coconut's About You. If you didn't know, I really love coconut. And then I also have the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. I love this. I went through 2 of these. I keep one beside my bed and I just put it on at night, and it's just really nice. I use this, or I use a Carmex. That's my thing. Today I'm going to use this because I got this for free with a bulk order from like a long time ago, and I've not showed it to you, so I'm gonna show it to you. This is the Extra Lip Tint from Bobbi Brown. So it's just a tiny baby one. It actually tints your lips though, and I think it's really moisturizing. We'll see. They don't give you much. They really said try it once and that's it. So it was free. I didn't buy this, so I'm not telling you to go buy it because I'm sure it's probably expensive. I see a little bit of a pink tint to my lips, so if you're into that, this will do it. But this Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss from CoverGirl is more affordable and does just as well. Also, I went ahead and put this on today, but this is something I got from Ulta from like their what is it, 21 Days of Beauty. So I got it 50% off. But this is the Instant Firm Eye Temporary Eye Tightener from Peter Thomas Roth. And I'm not a huge fan of this, I won't lie, but I've not used it enough to really be like a huge fan or not. I put this on today. I just put a little bit and I put it under my eyes like an eye cream, and it just gets really kind of dry feeling. Like I don't feel a lot of moisture, but it's supposed to tighten those wrinkles. And I kind of have this already, so I don't think it's just this, but I feel like I have it looks like I've been wearing sunglasses in the sun, like a ring, at least on the bottom here. So I can tell that it works. But it's not one of those products that I'm like, go pay full price for this. I don't think it works that well. So it's okay though. So good skin prep is important. I leave this here on my makeup table because I don't always put moisturizer on before I come down, and I like to do it when I'm here. So I have this e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream. It has SPF 30 in there. There's hyaluronic acid and a peptide complex. It's really nice. It's just a closed it too tight. I'm about halfway done with it, but it's just a white cream, and it's really nice. It smells nice. I like it. So what I like to do is I like to just kind of spread it across my face. And one more thing I'm going to do, and this could mess up that Peter Thomas Roth, but I'm going to go ahead use it anyway because I've had it sitting here and I'm not. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that. I probably should have put this on first, maybe. I don't know. I'm just taking a little extra care of my skin today. So I just got a little bit out, and I'm just putting it on these fingers, and I'm just going to put it here. And don't forget the lid. I can tell how that would be really moisturizing for somebody with dry skin. Now, I personally get dry on my forehead and even some down my nose and my chin, but I get really oily through here, which is also kind of crazy. And I'll get oily on my forehead too. So I'm an oily skin type, but I can still have dry patches as well. So that's just part of it. But anyway, I just wanted to take a little extra care of my skin because I don't always do that, and it deserves it. Do I have a good excuse for not taking care of my skin? Absolutely not. Because, well, number one, I work from home, and that was a change I made a little over 2 years ago now. And wonderful change. I love my job, but it has also caused me to be very lazy in a lot of areas. So we'll talk about that. So I want to do a green eye look. I have the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona, and I want to use Natasha Denona today. So this is what that palette looks like. So pretty. I have a dedicated video to it, just a few back if you go back on the videos. Then I also have the mini gold palette from Natasha Denona, which has some greens in there. And I have the mini Metropolis palette, which has one green, but it's a beautiful palette. I love this palette. So I just kind of might dip into all three, might just stay into one, who knows. But my goal for today is just to do a very nice green fall eyeshadow look. So I've about used all that I can out of this Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, but I'm going to see if I can just scrape it as clean as I possibly can and get just a little bit more out of it. I want to get my money's worth. I think first I'm going to go into the mini Metropolis, and I'm going to take this shade here, and I'm going to put that in the crease. So let's talk about mental health. Hey guys, I just want to take a second to stop and say this was very hard for me to talk about. I know I do a lot of and ahs at the first of this. It takes me a minute to get started, but once I do, you will see that I get there. So bear with me. So it has been about a little over 2 years now that I have worked from home. I had a job before that I worked that I worked outside of my home, and I loved that job as well. It was a great job. And a little backstory: I lost my dad in January of 2021, and it was a very trying thing that I went through. One of the hardest things I think I've ever gone through. Probably the hardest. So when I got the phone call that my dad had passed, I was at work at the old job, and I was in my office, and it was an office by myself, thankfully. And the reason I say thankfully is because my reaction was probably crazy. When I got the phone call, I just thought I was getting a phone call of like an update on him. It was during kind of COVID, not necessarily the super height of COVID, but it was during kind of the COVID time still. And we couldn't be with him where he was. So again, that was something that was really hard to go through. I'm going to take a little bit of this Fuchsia shade from the Yucca palette. So not being able to go with him to the hospital, and him being by himself was super hard. And our family, like, we're just super close, and usually, like, now if my mom's in the hospital, one of us is always with her. And we would have done that with my dad as well, but we just weren't allowed. So I got the phone call in my office by myself. That was a super traumatic experience because I was just not expecting it at all. It was completely a shock. And I'm not just saying that because obviously when you lose someone, it's shocking. It completely caught me off guard. It was just not anything that I was expecting. Sorry if you hear that. There's obviously some music going on somewhere. I'm going to take the Valley shade out of this palette as well. Sorry I say a lot. I don't plan what I'm going to say beforehand. I just kind of get here and I just do it. So going back to work was very hard to think about because I was in that office by myself. I just kept replaying that moment in my mind of when they told me that my dad had passed. Back to the mini Metropolis. I'm going to go into this dark brown. So anyway, I decided I was going to take some time away from my job and take care of my mom for a little bit. So that's what I did. She needed help physically, mentally, everything. We both needed help at that time. So anyway, I've always struggled with depression and anxiety, but that was kind of when the beginning of my roller coaster began. The beginning began. So it was really hard to go through that, really hard. I mean, nobody can give you a handbook on grief and be like, this is how you need to deal with it. And if you do everything this says, you'll be perfect. Like, nobody can do that. Some people can share their experiences and you can relate, but there's no right and wrong way to deal with grief. And so I dealt with it the best way that I could. And it was very hard. It was almost robotic in a way because I went through grief without really dealing with it. That's the robotic part of it, is I just went through it and just tried to, as best I could, you know, that was my kind of thing. I'm just gonna get through this as best I can. Still not the greatest, but I guess the mini Metropolis palette is the palette. I'm taking the middle shade and I'm gonna pat that here on the outer portion. I was also finishing school at the time for degree to do what I'm doing now. And so that was my plan, is I was going to finish school and I was going to get a job in this field, and I stuck to those plans. It was, you know, what I'm meant to do. I'm going to go into the mini gold palette and I'm going to take a little bit of the shade here and I'm going to put that next to the one I just laid down, kind of in the center. So about, let's see, I've worked there for 2 years. So I was out of work for what, almost 8 months, I guess, 7-8 months. And during that time I was again in robot mode. So finally found a job, and I just kind of, my point in telling you this is I went to work at home and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And so in the beginning I would get up and I would like put a little makeup on and do the things, you know, like put some clothes on, like dress for the day. And I'm just gonna be really real with you guys, okay? I don't do that anymore. I work in my pajamas. I don't put any makeup on throughout the day. I am completely just relaxed, casual. I roll out of bed, I get up and do my work, and that's what I do. And so I've gotten into this really bad habit of just falling into the groove of just not caring about myself at all. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it's a little bit of depression because, number one, seasonal depression hits right about now, but also just like life in general, because I don't want to go anywhere. I'm happy at home. I'm happy doing nothing. I'm happy with that. And there's a double-edged sword there, because you kind of need to be exposed to some things, to people in general. And my mental health is probably best when I go to church, not just because of church, but because I'm exposed to people too. So that is my point in telling you all that, is like my mental health has struggled the last 2 years. I've so struggled with my mental health, and it has been a battle. It's been a journey. It has been, it's been hard. It's been really hard. And I don't know really how I've gotten through it, other than God helping me to get through it, because without him, there's no way that I would have survived and gotten through it. Man, is it difficult some days to just function. And until you've dealt with depression or even know what it's like, you don't understand that, like, depression hurts you physically. It's hard to explain that to somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about, but depression can be very physically demanding. It plays so much on you. And anyway, I'm doing so much better now than I was. I'm not here to say poor me, and like feel sorry for me. That's not at all my thing. My reason for telling you this is, like, there's somebody else in the world that's gone through what you're going through, because I know there are other people out there going through it. And so I'm trying to decide right now which one I'm going to use. I'm probably going to use this one here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt myself and interrupt my thought process. But if you're going through something like that, like, you're not alone and you're not going through it by yourself, and God is right there to help you. Okay, I'm a Christian and I believe in God and I believe in the power of prayer. And had it not been for God, there's absolutely no way that I would be able to sit here and like kind of tell you about this, because I would have been silently suffering through it. So I'm going to take this shade here, which is called Makia. It's so pretty. And I'm going to put that on the rest of the lid. And if you're a Christian and you're suffering with it and you're thinking that there's something wrong with you and you're suffering with it because Christians aren't supposed to suffer, that's the wrong way of thinking. I'm sorry. We're human. I believe God is the only answer for it. However, if you need to seek psychiatrists or counseling or medication or whatever it may be to help you through it, there is nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. If you have your own convictions about it, that's completely fine. And I'm not trying to, put my convictions on you, but don't let religious people try to tell you that there's something wrong with you if you need to go that route, because suffering and shame and silence and not getting help is the worst thing you can do for yourself. However, I also believe God can completely deliver you and heal you and set you free from whatever you're going through. And that was my case. However, I still do take antidepressants because I've taken them for years now. And it's something that I need. I've tried to go off of them at times. I've tried to lessen the dose that I'm on, and I just need it. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me. Because God, I believe, gave people the knowledge to create those medications, and, for a reason, for a purpose. And again, I'm not trying to force my beliefs onto you. I'm just letting you know that if you're struggling with what you should do, I don't think that you should suffer in that kind of bondage when there can be things out there that would aid you in that relief. So God completely healed me, because I went through some very dark times, and I'm not here to tell you about all those super dark times, but it happens to everybody. It's completely okay. Sometimes you just have to function. Sometimes you just have to go through the motions, and that's the best you can do, and that is okay. I just want to tell somebody that's okay. I know that sounds so crazy, but sometimes you just got to be able to just give the very bare minimum, and that'd be okay. And that's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay, because I don't believe that I hate that saying of God won't put more on you than you can handle. I don't believe that, because the world is going to put so much on you. And I don't believe God necessarily throws depression on you and oppression and whatever you might be facing. I feel like God will give you exactly the way of escape that you need. But he is not going to just continue to pile that on you. And he's not going to, my God's a God of love. My God is a God of peace and compassion, and he wants to set you free, and he doesn't want you to live in that bondage. And so he's not going to heap that on you, and he's not heaping anything on you. So I get the question a lot, well, why does God allow this to happen or that to happen? I can't fully answer why God allows it to happen. And maybe one day I'll get to that point where I kind of understand that, but some things I don't think we're meant to understand fully, because there's reasons for everything. But I do believe that we have to learn. And some days he allows us to go through things to learn the lesson, because sometimes I've not learned a lesson and I've had to go through something more than once in order to get to the end of it. And I'm not perfect. I'm so far from perfect. So please don't think I'm sitting here trying to act like I am, because I am not. I have only by God's grace and mercy am I sitting here right now, because I'm as human as they come. I'm as flawed as they come. I am as moody and grouchy and angry as they come. I am so imperfect in so many ways. So I'm not trying to sit here on a high horse. I'm just here to say it's okay to be not okay. But the way we seek help as Christians should be a little bit different. And it's not that we don't seek help as far as medications or doctors or psychiatrists or whatever. It's that we seek help from God, and he will lead us in the path that we need to go in order to get the redemption, in order to be saved from whatever it is that we're facing. So I'm rambling on, but I'm also telling you that God loves you and he wants you to live free of that. So a lot of times we're living in the, bad things happening to good people. We're living in the remnants of our choices, or we're living in the remnants of someone else's choices. And it's not necessarily God saying, here, I'm going to just allow all these bad things to happen to you. It's just that we have to learn sometimes. And I believe that in learning, we are growing and we are becoming better people. And that's God's ultimate goal for us, is to become better people. So I didn't mean to say all that, but it just kind of came out as I was talking. But I want you to know that you're not alone, and that what you're facing is not something you have to go through by yourself, and you are loved by God. And I may not know you personally, but I love you. You are my brother and sister in Christ, and I want you to know that you have a way of escape, and you don't have to face it by yourself, and you don't have to feel guilty because you don't feel okay. I felt so guilty because I was like, I'm supposed to be able to deal with this better. I'm supposed to be able to come out of this better, and I wasn't able to. That didn't make me less of a Christian. I don't care what anybody says. It didn't make me less of a Christian. It made me human. It made me so human, because I was struggling, and sometimes God just wants us to ask for his help. That's what something my pastor said this past Sunday. God sometimes just wants us just to ask him to help. And man, how simple is that? We just need to ask for help. And I'm so prideful, I stop myself from doing that sometimes, and I don't ask for help. I don't. So it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not be okay, and to know where your help comes from, though. That's important. I also want you to know that just because I'm here to sit and tell my story, just because I'm able to sit down and say it, doesn't mean that I'm completely okay and nothing ever, I don't struggle with it. I still struggle. I still have hard times. I still go through times where I'm like, why? As people, we just ask those questions so much. Why me? Yeah, it's hard, because so many times I want to know, why am I having to face this, God? When he can just break us out of whatever it is. But I need to learn lessons a lot of the times. I've come to realize that. Okay, I'm going to use my NYX Epic Wear liner stick in All Time Olive, and I'm going to do a line right here, kind of like a wing liner. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Calthea from here on a liner brush, and I'm going to kind of help kind of buff that. I've said it a million times, but I'll say it a million more. I'm giving my eye a little bit of lift, and if it's a little messy, that's okay. We'll clean it up in a second. To clean it up, I just like to take a makeup wipe and just kind of clean it. I have a little bit of a nail, so I'm able to do that, but even if you don't, you should still be able to. I just have this Marc Jacobs liner, which is not one you can get anymore, I don't think, because it's not a brand anymore, but it's a gold liner, so any gold liner will work. I just kind of want to go along that green line and just kind of like do a double line, maybe a little bit of graphic liner, I guess is what it's called. Okay, I will try to zoom in so you can really see that line that's right there. So pretty. I just like that little touch. I'm not sure if I've used this in a video or not, but this is the NYX Freezy Cooling Primer. I feel like I have, but I can't remember. So it's just like a what is it? It's a pore filling primer. But it doesn't have silicone, I don't think. It reminds me a little bit of the Huda Beauty Glowish primer, or the Touch and Soul Pretty Filter primer. That's kind of what it reminds me of as far as texture. But I just wanted to talk about mental health because we all face something at some point in time, and like, I'm not completely all better. That's not what I'm sharing. I'm sharing to let you know we're all human. We all go through things. And I look back over my videos of the last year or so, probably 2 years, honestly, if we're going to be real. And I can just tell that I'm just not myself. Like, I see the change in myself, how I was so excited about makeup in the beginning, and then it just kind of dwindled off because life happens, you know. And even now, like, life has happened still, because, you know, things are going on with my mom health-wise, and you know, different things in life happen. So it's not like everything's all peaches and cream. It's just that we just have to lean on God to deal with it and get us through it. If we've got any chance of survival, that's the only one. His help getting us through. I'm just so incredibly thankful and grateful that he's carried me through so many times in my life. And I'm just like to tell you that I'm grateful and thankful is such an understatement, because I am truly so grateful. I'm going to use my Hourglass Soft Glow Foundation. I'm going to put it in the palm of my hand. I saw this technique, I don't remember from who, but I saw it on TikTok, so let's try it. And the girl just kind of swirled it in the palm of her hand and then put it on. I'm going to take a little bit of the Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour in Fair Light. Then I'm going to take light and medium because it's more of a bronzy shade. Then I'm going to take this She Glam Color Bloom Liquid Blush in the shade Risky Business. Then I'm taking my Natasha Denona, the High Glam Concealer. I know this might be a longer video because I just rambled and talked earlier, but I feel like it was just kind of something I wanted to talk about. And I used to really focus kind of on like taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health and all that kind of stuff, and I just don't talk about that anymore because I was struggling. But I'm back on the train. It's important to take care of yourself, and I know when you're taking care of somebody else, it's so incredibly hard to find time for yourself. And I get it. Like, I'm not a mama, but I get it because I was taking care of my mother, and I know how hard it was to try to give of yourself, and then you barely got any energy left after you've put them to bed. I can only imagine. And not that it's a hardship because you love them, but it's just, it's hard to find that energy, and I get it. And I just think for our own mental health, we have to prioritize us sometimes, and it's okay not to say yes to everything, and it's okay to not be able to do everything. That's something I've had to come to terms with. I can't say yes to everything, and I can't be able to do everything. And can I say this to somebody too? Because I've had people come in and out of my life, and, you know, friendships to go awry because whatever reason, I don't even know sometimes. And it's not even about you. It's about other things in life. It's not even making them bad people. It just means that life happens, you know? And so sometimes don't define your self-worth by somebody else and what they've let you down in, or you feel like they've let you down in. I just think it's important for us not to define our worth by other people. And that's something I'm learning. I'm not there yet, but I'm learning. I'm going to take this Essence All About Matte powder. I love this powder. It's so good. And I'm going to set my under eye with this. See how it brightens my under eye? A lot. I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder, and I'm going to set the rest of my face with it. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. Then I'm going to take my Super Shock Cheek in Between the Sheets. Love this shade. It's such a good one. Then I'm going to use this Super Shock highlighter in Wisp. I love this shade of highlighter. It is so pretty. And I like to put it on with my finger. Okay, I went ahead and did my eyebrows normal routine. And now I'm going to finish the bottom lash line. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this deep shade called Calthea, however you say it. On the liner brush, and just bring that in a little. Probably not the full length of the eye. And then I think I'm going to buff it out with this shade here. And I am going to take just a little bit of the shade out of the mini Metropolis. I can't talk. Then I'm going to take that gold liner and I'm going to put on the rest of the lash line on the inner portion. Then the green liner I'm going to put in the waterline and mix a little bit with the gold. Then I'm going to take this Natasha Denona face and Glam Face Palette. And it is the dark one, but I'm going to take just the highlighter out of here, and I'm highlighting the inner corner and brow bone. I stopped recording just to check the time on my phone, and forgot to push record again. Sorry. So for lashes, I'm sitting here talking to my phone and it's not recording, so I was literally talking to myself, which I do that anyway. But New Heights Lifting Mascara from Ulta is what I used, and then I used the Kiss My Lash But Better in Bare Affair. That's the lashes I have on. Then I used the Kylie Malibu lip liner. What happened to it? I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. That's the lip liner I used. And then I used the Milani lipstick. It's the matte lipsticks in the shade Tease, and this is like one of my favorite colors. I love their matte lipsticks because they are so comfortable. They are matte, but they're not drying, and that is like so wonderful. For an added little something, you guys know I love this to do this with. This is literally Los Angeles Nakey Nakey. It is like a super pale. Hold on, I might have one more. I'm gonna go ahead with Nakey Nakey. I did this in the last video, but I'm gonna do it again because I just love the dimension this gives. It elevates the lips just a tiny bit, but this is like one of my favorites to do that with. So you can also do it with concealer. If you want a gloss, you can definitely do a gloss. I like matte lips in the fall. It just seems more fall-ish to me. So I'm going to leave mine matte, but if you want a gloss, you can definitely do it. So there is my green fall eye look. Just to kind of like recap on the mental health stuff, like I'm doing good. I'm not trying to act like I'm not. I'm in a really good place. God has been so good to me, and I'm so thankful for that. And if you need prayer or someone to talk to, I'm always able to talk back to you in the comments. So I appreciate that interaction with you, but also I want to be there for you if you need somebody, because sometimes it's hard to go through things alone and feel alone. But I just want you to know that you're not alone, and that I have faced some of the most difficult things in the last 2 years that I could have ever imagined, and here I am living to tell the tale. And no, I'm not perfect, and things are far from perfect in my life, but I am so grateful, thankful, and blessed to just be standing. That's just the truth of it. Is I'm just so thankful to still be standing, and it's only because of God's grace that I'm here. And had it not been for him, I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I would have made it through. I don't know. And so don't try to face anything by yourself. Let the Lord help you. That's my biggest piece of advice, is let the Lord help you. So if you notice in the last 2 years that I was different, that's probably why. There's been a lot going on, and of course maybe you didn't notice, and that's okay too. There's no shame or or anything in that either. We have things going on in our own lives, and I just want to say, look, I'm human. This is what's going on. It's been rough at times. It really has. But I'm not here to tell you about how rough it is. I'm here to tell you about how good God has been and how he's brought me through so much. And he's so faithful. Guys, he is so faithful. And I know that this is a makeup channel, but I just want to encourage you that God is your refuge and strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. So if you need help, he is there to help you. And I'm so grateful for good people in my life who prayed me through some of the hardest times. And had it not been for good friends, good family, good pastors, I would have just, who knows what. But I'm just so thankful to be where I am today. And God is still good. Even though I faced some hardships and I went through some hard things, God is still good. And that is important, to be able to go through hard things and to be able to say, God is still good through it all. So thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I hope it wasn't too boring. Hopefully you can relate in some way to something I said, and I hope that it touches your heart in some way. If nothing else, it gives you a little insight into me and my mind and my thinking, and who I've become the last little bit. But I'm hoping, praying, and looking toward the future, and looking toward new things, better things, greater things. And I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to be all sunshine and rainbows all the time, but I'm looking forward to better days, and I'm so thankful for God's continued guidance through it all. So I'm praying for you. Even if I don't know you, I'm still praying for you. I'm so thankful that God's given me the opportunity. It's a very small channel. I'm not oblivious to that, but I'm thankful for God giving me a few people, a few hundred people to follow my channel, and to be able to share some experiences with, because why else would we go through them if we can't learn from them and share with others our experiences? So learn a thing or two through it, and then share it with somebody else, so maybe they don't have to go through it too. So I'll shut up now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are truly staying safe, happy, and healthy, and always physical, mental, everything. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.